So, when you look at your college career and you look at, the issues around college players not getting paid, and, there's that scandal that recently happened with, I believe, Adidas.
A bunch of sneaker companies.
Oh, there's more than just Adidas.
Yeah,
Oh,
more
there's a
than
bunch
just
of them.
Adidas. Yeah.
When you look at what you did for the school, how much revenue you brought to the school and so forth. Because, in general, even if it ever does happen, only a couple players will really get that. But when you look at overall about how things are done now, which is the same way as back then, what's your take on it?
So this is my deal. I've said it when I was just in the pros. I said it when I was on the Best Damn Sports Show, period, on Fox Sports Net. They need to pay the players. And I'm going to make it simple. The University of Michigan, love the University of Michigan, 100,000 people plus come to the football games.
That's how big the stadium is.
That's how big the stadium is. But that's not the way I thought. That's how much money they're making. Because even if it's students, right? They don't have that many students there. Everybody paying. The shirts, the sweaters, the hats, the coats, the stickers, everything. The flyers outside your car, the flags, everything. When I think of Jalen Rose, right? These guys were making, they changed the style of how we dress to this day in basketball. Those kids. Not one dime goes to them. They go, well, you got your scholarship. Well, then that's when I laughed. My scholarship in 1982 to 86 was $41,000, 4 years. My daughter's tuition at American University was $50,000, just tuition. So I would have to spend, if she went to school 5 years, 4 years, whatever, close to $300,000 just on my daughter's tuition. That means there's other parents at these universities spending that much money on their kids. The university not only gets that money, they get the TV money. They get the merchandise money. The coach gets the sneaker deal.
Yeah.
Not the player. Coach don't even wear the sneaker except in practice.
Yeah, I always found that to be a bit weird.
I say the same thing. So they sit around and they pimp you saying, well, you're getting a free education. Well, so's that kid that got a 3.8 from they gave him a scholarship. So did that girl over there who literally can play the violin. Got her a scholarship.
Yeah, and they're not making money for the school.
Well,
like
they're not.
Yeah.
Right? But my first game on national television was against Ralph Sampson in Virginia. They made close to $10 million in that game. It was early television. So if they made $10 million comes back to school, they paid for my scholarship maybe 151,000 times, right? Because if that was just that one game. Throughout my college career, we went from being the worst team to the best team. We were playing all the time, playing against Georgetown in the Final Four. That money goes back to the school.
Right.
Goes back to the ACC, goes back to school. They said, well, the money that comes into Division I pays for Division II and Division III. That's not my issue. So what you're saying is your hard work and your ability to be at the top level so you can entertain, because that's why you're there. You're playing in this college because they feel they can develop you into something that they can market. The players should have something. I couldn't have a job, right? In the summertime, you can get a garbage job, or if they gave you a great job, then the NCAA came and got you for having a great job. You can't have a job throughout the whole year. So they're telling you, you have to work, but you cannot get paid outside of this. So what do you force somebody who wants to eat, who wants to go to the movie, who wants to buy a suit? Most of these kids don't even have a suit. So when they talk about that, one of the first things I say is, look at all the money being made. Look what happened in the NBA. We struck. We went on strike. We showed literally unity. We won't come to work. The product that you have been building since high school decides not to play. So the owners locked the players out. The players didn't strike. The owner said, you can't come into work. We threatened strike. They said, nope, we're locking the doors.
Right, because there's the whole thing right now with LaMelo Ball.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be the only high school player with like his own signature shoe.
Smart.
And they're saying that this is going to be an issue with the NCAA when he goes to college because technically you're not supposed to be making money.
How funny is that?
But this is his own company.
Right. You cannot. This is what they're telling me.
Yeah.
We want you to come to college to learn how to be an entrepreneur. We don't want you to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
It's the craziest. We're training you to be an employee. We're not training you to be a boss. No, you can't have it. So it's even the funniest thing. If a kid is born into a rich family, right? Look at Johnny Manziel. Mm-hmm. They stayed on Johnny Manziel, but they couldn't. Because his grandfather's one of the richest oil men there are. He can have whatever he wants. I can give my grandkid whatever I want. You can't tell me I can't give my grandkid something. That bothered them. So if they don't have it fit into a certain situation, it doesn't work.
So it's a control thing.
It's a huge money thing. You know another thing you don't know? You don't know who the top people are at the NCAA. You don't know their names. You don't know what they get paid. You don't know where they get their money from.
Wow.
How is that?
That's crazy.
That's some 1940s European, there's nothing against you, Vlad, no, I'm joking. European-ish, very dictatorship way of thinking. A secret officer, to the point where the FBI gets involved. The Federal Bureau of Investigation decided to get involved with college sports. Why? They know all the money is made in Vegas off college sports, all of the money.
Yeah.
So who are you investigating? Why are you investigating somebody getting $300, $1,000?
Right. Because I think Reggie Bush lost his Heisman Trophy over that.
Yeah, Reggie Bush gave it back.
He gave it back, but they were forcing him to give it back.
No, they were going to strip him from it. Reggie gave it back before they even asked for it. He was like, he sent it straight to him. This money had nothing to do with me outrunning everybody. It had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, good.
It wasn't steroids. It wasn't some kind of drug. It was, he literally, somebody in his family was able to eat that week.
So if you made the rules,
yeah,
when it comes to college athletes,
they wouldn't go to the pro so fast.
Okay.
So you go to college to get a higher education, to get a higher paying job. You're 18 years old, 19 years old, and somebody wants to give you a higher paying job. There's no use for college. People go, oh man, what about your education? You mean my brainwash? Because I work with a company now called Interact, and I've been for years trying to get to it because players lose their money because they don't train them. And they go, well, look, the guy lost all his money. Well, now let's look back at college. Why did he lose all his money? Because you didn't let him learn how to handle money.
Yeah.
When all other kids learn how to handle money. All other kids in college, their mother and father sends them money on their card, they learn how to budget. When you don't have any money, you eat when they tell you to eat. The clothes you wear are the sweatshirts that they give you. Where you sleep. If you're going to wash your clothes. So if you want to treat them like a regular student, where do they get the money to wash the clothes?
Right, and it seems to kind of keep going because I remember me and Rip Hamilton, we had a conversation, and he said out of all the years that he played basketball and all the times he's been in the locker rooms, right? And in a typical locker room, how much money is it? What, about $100 million a year or something?
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how much money you're talking about in a particular small space. He said he's never once heard conversations of players talking about how they're investing their money.
No.
They talk about what kind of cars they bought, who they're dating, what kind of jewelry they got, but no one's talking about any sort of real businesses and real investment. He's never heard it. And every basketball player, me and Boobie Gibson had the same conversation. Same thing. I hear it over and over again. Same thing with you?
Well, no. I had Bill Ambier. And Bill Ambier was a strong Republican. And he even did some things for Bush to get Bush elected, big, senior. And, we didn't know what that was, didn't know how powerful it was, didn't know what it meant. But he explained something to me. He explained how much each foul shot costs. That was amazing. He said, you hit your foul shots, your foul shots are like $100,000. I went from shooting 65 to 85 the next day. because it's all thought process. It's all how you think. Billy Cunningham, right? It was the owner of the Miami Heat at that time. He was like, Sal, every year you play, save $1 million, right? So however many years you play, just think about that $1 million being saved. Don't do anything with it. Joe Dumars, Adrian Dantley would say things. Isaiah Thomas, the smartest of all, period.
Okay. So you had a different experience.
Yeah, I had good vets, and I had guys who knew the change was coming. The money was changing too.
Yeah.